Have you ever sat down to work, opened your laptop, made a perfect to do list, and still did nothing? You were not tired, you were not sick, you were not even incapable, but somehow you just couldn't start. At that night, you told yourself the same line again, कल से पक्का करूंगी. But what if I tell you something uncomfortable? Procrastination is not laziness, and burnout is not weakness. This is the story of how I went from a constant delay, constant guilt, constant exhaustion to a structured productivity. This is my battle against burnout. When people see high achievers, whether in IIT, UPSC, research, corporate jobs, they assume discipline comes naturally. But pressure scales with ambition. In places like Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, excellence is normal. You're surrounded by toppers, you're surrounded by people who look like they're doing more than you. And that comparison silently drains you. At one point, I was handling academic coursework, research work, long term career planning, competitive exams, personal expectations, family expectations, so on and so forth. On paper, it looked so impressive. In reality, it felt suffocating. And it's when procrastination just began. Not because I didn't care, but because I cared too much. Let's break a myth. Procrastination is not poor time management, it's emotional regulation failure. Your brain avoids tasks that trigger fear of failure, fear of imperfection, overwhelming, uncertainty, so on. When a task feels too big, too unclear, and too high stakes, your brain chooses relief. And relief today better than success tomorrow. Scrolling feels easier than starting. Reorganizing notes feel easier than writing. Planning feels safer than executing. And slowly, avoidance becomes a habit. Now, the burnout doesn't scream, it whispers. First, you delay small tasks, then deadlines pile up, then guilt builds, then sleep reduces, then motivation disappears, and then you question yourself. Burnout is emotional exhaustion, reduced performance, and detachment. You suddenly start feeling nothing is working. I'm not good as others. Maybe I'm not built for this. And the dangerous part is you still look functional from outside, but inside you're drained. That was my lowest phase. Now, one evening I asked myself a brutal question. What if I continue like this for 2 years? What will happen? And the answer scared me. I wasn't failing because I lacked intelligence. I wasn't failing because I lacked a system. High ambition plus no structure gave me a burnout. That's when I stopped asking, how do I become so more motivated? And then I started asking, how do I build a system that works even when I don't feel motivated? That shift changed everything. Here are the exact principles that helped me to move on from procrastination to productivity. And this is actually exclusively, I have written this for you people. So stay tuned for it. Firstly, reduce the friction. If starting feels heavy, the task is too big. Instead of complete of the full chapter, let's start reading just 2 pages. Instead of work for 5 hours, let's start working only for 20 minutes. Action creates a motivation, not the other way around. Once you start, resistance reduces. Secondly, separate identity from the performance. Earlier, I used to think if I fail today, I am a failure. That mindset creates pressure. Now I think I executed poorly today. I can improve my execution. Identity based guilt creates procrastination. Process based thinking creates improvement. Thirdly, fixed time blocks, which is non negotiable. I stopped working based on mood. Instead, I created a timetable. Morning, deep work, no phone. Afternoon, classes, work. Evening, revision. Night, light reading plus reflection. Even when I don't feel like working, I showed up. And showing up consistently builds self trust. Fourth is energy before efficiency. No system works if you just sleep for 4 hours, you skip the exercise, and you eat randomly, you constantly consume dopamine. I fixed it. 7 hours of sleep, 45 minutes of physical activity, limited social media, weekly planning session. Energy always stabilizes the productivity. Now, coming to the fact of psychological shift. The biggest change wasn't in my planner, it was in my mindset. I stopped chasing the perfection. I started chasing consistency. And somehow this made me think that, is perfection achievable, or is the consistency key to a perfection? Then I realized that actually consistency is the key to perfection because nothing can beat it. The consistency is the only way to achieve anything in your life. So always make a note of it that consistency always, always, always stands really, really important. Now, the perfection stays, do it flawlessly or don't do it. It's just 0 or 1. There is no in between. However, the consistency says, do it imperfectly but do it daily. So here you can simply understand the difference between perfection and the consistency. Burnout automatically reduces when the expectation become realistic, goals become structured, and the comparison reduces. So I stopped competing with others because there is no point of competing with other people who are not even equal of your own energy radiation or the energy panel. They are different, you are different, and that is more important. I started competing with myself. I always started comparing what I was yesterday and what I am today. That is actually the most important fact. Now, here are some of the practical reset plans for the viewers. If you're watching this and you feel stuck, please do this. Step 1, remove all the big goals from tomorrow. Step 2 is to write only 3 tasks. You have n number of tasks in your list. You have to prioritize what are the most important 3 tasks that you need to achieve for the day. It can be for a day, for a week, for a month, doesn't matter. But you have to know what is important for you. Prioritization is the key, I suppose. Then, step 3, each task should be under 45 minutes. Please, please, please don't extend the task for more than 45 minutes because if you extend it, your brain automatically understands that it has some kind of resistivity that this takes a lot of time and I'm not gonna do it no matter what. However, if you break your tasks into smaller chunks, your brain releases dopamine. Step 4, finish them. Stop and finish them. Do this for 7 days. Momentum will return. Productivity is not a personality trait, it's a trainable behavior. So please focus on training, not a trait. Now, the hardest truth is that, let me say this, if even if you feel so uncomfortable, that no one is coming to fix your discipline. Not your college, not your coach, not your parents. The burnout feels unfair, but responsibility is actually empowering. The moment you take control of your structure, your confidence automatically returns. Now, today I still have stressful days. I still feel a lot of resistance, but I no longer stay stuck because I don't rely on motivation anymore because I rely on systems. I repeat, I rely on systems. Procrastination is not your enemy, it's just unstructured ambition. So, if you're fighting burnout right now, you're not weak, you're just overloaded. Build a structure, protect your energy, and most importantly, do not run after perfectionism. Stay consistent, and slowly the productivity will win. This is a battle. I have won it and you can win it too. So stay tuned for such videos, and please make sure to like, subscribe, and drop down a comment. How do you feel after application of these particular rules which I have stated in this video in your own life? And also make sure to subscribe this video and hit the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching the entire video. I'll see you in the next one. And also please comment what kind of videos you want to see for the next part or the next weekend which I am gonna be posting it. So stay tuned for that as well.